do we want to be like ISIS or Bhutan? They both tried banning tobacco, and guess what happened? They ended up backtracking pretty quickly. Bhutan ended their ban in 2020. Believe it or not, because tobacco smugglers were bringing COVID into the country. Now it looks like Rishi Sunak is pondering doing something similar. Well, not an all-out ban, he's not planning on cigarette sales, but a ban that would essentially stop young people from ever buying cigarettes. They do this in a cunning way by steadily increasing the legal age for buying cigs year on year. Now, this is what has been done in New Zealand, one of the more authoritarian so-called liberal democracies in the world. They've done this. So, if the government decided to do it, and it's something that Labour's Wes Streeting has also expressed support for too, you could actually have a situation in which someone who is, say, 41 could go out and buy a pack of fags, but his 40-year-old mate would be turned away. Now, one MP is reported to have said, you're going to end up with newly elected MPs surreptitiously asking Michael Gove if he'll buy cigarettes for them at the local Tesco. It's just bizarre. It is just bizarre, particularly considering Michael Gove is reportedly in favour of this move, despite the fact he took his own smoking breaks in a special hut built for him on the roof of his departmental office. Again, it's do as I say, not as I do. Now, we all know smoking is a killer. No one denies that. But this is a truly unworkable policy. Well, there you go.
Absolutely.
I mean, who disagrees with me?
Do you need a cigarette after that?
I
don't
actually.
smoke. I prefer a little vape every now and again.
Well, it'll be after that before long, though, Emily. That's the thing, isn't it?
Let's go after Patrick. You like a cigarette every now and again. Sorry to out you.
I smoke. I know it's bad for me, OK? Everybody knows that it's bad for them, OK? But it's up to me whether or not I want to do that, right? And we will have a farcical situation where, like you just said there, you know, we're going to end up with a 45-year-old walking into an offie, desperately trying to buy a packet of Camel Blues, being turned down. I mean, from a purely political point on this, where are the votes in this?
Yeah.
Where are the votes for Rishi Sunak in doing this? No one's going to go out and vote Tory in the next general election because their next-door neighbour might be banned from smoking.
But there's a guy called Javed Khan who was the CEO of Barnardo's, the charity, right? And he came up with all these proposals that the government is now considering. He wanted to ban people in social housing, in council homes, from smoking on their own property, in their own homes. I mean, this stuff is extremely interventionist, isn't it?
Look, I get it, and I worry about the nanny state too, but we do ban things in this country. Like, you know, we have guns are banned, drugs are banned. You know, it's fine to have certain things that are banned, and smoking is a killer. Like, I think it's 74,000 die of it a year, and then you've got the 8,000 people that die from passive smoking.
Hang on. I don't accept that. Me having a fag isn't going to shoot someone, is it? Right? Me having a cigarette isn't going to
second-hand smoking, still a killer.
Well,
and look, I will say this, on the kids' point, like, I am someone that never thought that I would get addicted to cigarettes. I had my first cigarette at 19 and then was hooked and trying to quit for 10 years. So I actually do think the whole never having a cigarette is the best way to prevent it. It's not good. I get it can, you know, take the stress off, it feels like that, but I actually think the best method for getting rid of this is never to try it.
But hang on, Lewis, I think we have a graphic that I can put up on the screen, do we? It's a graph that basically shows that young people are smoking less and less and less and less and less. Do we really need to ban it anyway, Ben?
Well, they're smoking less because now they're vaping.
Yeah, but that's so much better for your health, at least.
I must admit, I smoked as a kid, 18, 19, 20, maybe until I was 25. I've just got back from Vegas, where before that I wasn't a smoker, I wasn't a vapor, but at the tables you can smoke and vape indoors, get plied with drinks all night, you don't need to get up, you don't need to leave the tables. I smoked a vape now and then at the tables, and I've come back and started vaping again. My thoughts on the ban of smoking is I don't want a nanny state or a big state government coming in and creeping on our lives any more than we've got now. And I think, in actual fact, the best method is using that money for a smoking ban to get people fit, get them lean, get them strong, and naturally people will stop smoking after that because they'll see the effect it has on their health. If you're fit and you're training and you're smoking and you go on the treadmill the next day, you can see what effect it has.
There is an argument that you pay for it your own healthcare in tax, by the way.
There's our... Sorry to interrupt you. There's our graphic, which shows... Well, you can see there, across all age ranges, smoking is just going down and down and down and
imagine the flat line if we just ban it.
But I think they're just, you know...
Don't lie to me, sorry, but don't, again, lie to me and say, oh, we need to do this to take the pressure off the NHS, whilst you're simultaneously pumping millions of people into a country. You're not building infrastructure. You're not employing enough doctors and nurses. You're not doing all of that. I'm sorry, but you shouldn't be banning people from doing this, because the next thing it'll be, you're only allowed an allotted amount of chocolate or fatty foods every single day.
Yeah.
This is the next thing.
But is there not an element of sort of sneer and contempt for working class people who may, dare I say, enjoy the odd glass of wine with a cigarette in their hand, to think, oh, OK, I'm going to relax, wind down from a hard day at work? What's so bad about that? And as Patrick says, they're paying an enormous amount of tax, and all this is going to do, if you ban it, is enable a black market
But
to
I
pop
think
up.
if you ask most smokers, they're saying, I'm trying to quit. I know it's bad for me. I want to quit.
Yeah, but I think that about fatty food, but guess what? I still shove a donut down me hole once and twice in any given day.
It's just so annoying, because I think this is what gets me the most. People like Michael Gove, who likes to smoke.
He likes to party as well. I'll leave it at that.
He's still pro this ban. And if Albie were here, he'd say, it's a great idea, even though we know he likes a cheeky cigarette. Sorry, Albie. So, it's just so much do as I say, not as I do, which just drives me mad. And they listen to the public health lobby far too much. The public health lobby, if we took all of their recommendations on board, we would not be allowed to eat anything that contained sugar. We'd not be able to eat anything that contained salt. We'd not be allowed to do anything.
Yeah, well, exactly. We cease to exist, right? We cease to have agency over our own lives.